Okay, hello, and welcome to another live stream. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday afternoon or morning or evening, depending on where you are. We have progressed quite a bit from the first session, so now we're quite close to finishing up the lighting on the daytime version. Here the character is missing some shadows, but in the render it's fine, so I'm not too worried about that here. So today we are in version 11. I've been testing out some renders, setting up some things for later on for compositing as well, and we should be good to continue working on the daytime scene. There's just, I think, a few minor tweaks left to do here, and then I will be rendering it out in off stream, because it's going to definitely take some time to render out the different layers. And yeah, after that, I think then next week I'm gonna do, I'm not sure if it's going to be the next Tuesday, or on Thursday then, or maybe some day in between. Depends on how will I be available with the time to do the renders for all the passes, and then we can do the compositing. So as I've mentioned, I've started setting up the different passes. I've been checking the different passes here in Blender as well, and I've been using I can show you this part here. I've been using here in the render layers and the industrial AOV connector, which is it's an add-on that you can get. I think it's directly here in Blender. So yeah, industrial AOV connector, and then you get this drop-down menu with the different options, and then when you go to the compositor here, you're gonna have something looking or resembling this here, that when you click, so here I can go into the set dressing layer, so it's gonna be more easier to understand. So no need to worry about all these lines and all these nodes. This is just something that this script does for you. Okay, so we can do this to make it not so intimidating, maybe. Connect this as so, just so that it's a bit easier to look at here. So the important parts are that it's when you click on, when you have set up your layers, your naming of the layer and everything, then when you click, if you want to separate the Cryptomate output, and if you want to use or not use the denoise nodes inside of Blender or inside of any other software, you can click this option or leave it off, and then in that case it's going to just add the denoise for the different passes. Okay, And then you click on Cook Node Tree. You click on the Cook Node Tree option, and then it's going to create all these nodes for you with the output, and then you can have you're gonna have all the layers in an EXR file, and then you can work with them. You're gonna have the RGB, the diffuse, the gloss, the transmission, the volumes, the emission, the AO, and it even separates this into multiple layers if you want. And then you can have the data, which will contain the Z depth, the mist, the normals, and then the crypto match separate. So if you want to render out just the crypto match, you can render out just the crypto if you see an error or whatever. Okay, so I wanted to see just if I have here maybe that I can show off so this is an older version. Okay, so yeah, I've been mostly testing out these the different as well render settings in the meantime to see which settings could work for which layer and which lights to keep on and off in the different layers. And yeah, so far I've ended up with these settings here for the set. So let's do this here. Well, it doesn't matter actually. Like to have these settings on as well. I'm gonna turn off PureRef so that the outliner and the settings here are visible. And yeah, so these are more or less the settings for the volume. And I left the caustics on, although it's not a huge of a difference, but you can tell like a bit of a difference in this glass part here in the back. And yeah, 256 samples with a 0.03 threshold. That is okay, more or less for now. And yeah, let's jump here into the shader view as well. So this plane here is new. This wasn't here before. I'm gonna turn it off in the viewport, and I'm gonna make it here so it's known what it's for. So it's a shadow blocker, or a light, actually a light blocker, and it's blocking the light coming from the character or from the outside of the set, so that it's when turned off, we're gonna have here a bit of extra shadows and on the boxes as well, which then without this it's not affecting neither the table or the boxes. I'm not sure yet if I want to keep it or not, but like this it adds like a little bit of light coming from the side there. but just to have the character then in focus, we can keep the light here. I like the lighting that is being created here on the dress and this part here, so I would keep it as is. And yeah, so now we are in the set layer. So this is what we have for now for the lighting here. It's more or less good to go. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I've tweaked a bit the material here on the table, and as well this glass shader that I removed the transmission on it, so that it's not transmissive, it's opaque now, just because of rendering optimization, that it's not a focal point, it's not so visible and so necessary, so it's just fine to keep it like this. It doesn't really matter in that way. And messed around a bit with this golden shader as well. Nothing fancy, and yeah, I've adjusted the textures in more or less the whole scene in terms of color space, because it seemed like some of them were working correctly, but in reality not. Since I am using ACES directly inside of Blender, I need to convert things inside of Blender, and I have a script here that I made with a little help, and I'm using that script to then convert all the materials, all the textures in the scene to an ACES compatible workflow, so that the textures look correct inside of Blender while working here in the scene. And yeah, so this is then that we have some really nice reflections, some really nice textures going on. I don't know if we could go and raise the normal a bit more. I think that we can, yeah. So I have as well tested out if things are working with. There's been some things that I needed to change, because I've been looking at Blender 4.5, and I wanted to well test out this project as well and see if there is a bump in performance, since they said that you can use Vulkan technology now, which is now I've turned it on for this project as well. There was some issues with the bump, because now the bump inside this new version of Blender is using strength, distance, and filter width, which supposedly is set to 1 by default, but I've seen in one video that the person was explaining that it's actually creating unwanted result, and so that you should set it up to like 0.3 and then tweak the distance and strength depending on your needs. So I did that, and I left it at these settings, and here I wanted to reduce a bit here the reflection on the table. And I know that this chair, just because I made the material somewhat like plastic looking, even though it says here that the material is named wood, it doesn't really have any wood features on it. So maybe we can it's actually not doing much here, the roughness itself of the diffuse. Want to see just we can get some extras out of this part here. Should be fine. Should be just fine. And let's see here what else. I've raised a bit the diffuse of the curtains so that it's not too dark in the background. I've been asking for some feedback in the meantime as well, since I've been looking at this scene for the past few weeks on and off. Some things I see and I can iterate and fix, but then other times it's good to have an extra pair of eyes to look at it and just to give their own opinion and to see if there is ways to improve and make it look nicer, make it look better. So in that case as well, if you are working on any sort of scene, if you can, it's always nice to ask for feedback. So here I'm checking the roughness values and the settings for this these knobs, because they're looking okay, but they could use a bit of work. Just a tiny bit. So these things are using the same material, and for example, we could maybe add here multiply node and just use this one here. Can have a bit more detail there. As I said, it's not these are just some minor tweaks and just messing around here a bit, because it's in the dark there, but it's giving a bit of details here from the lighting as well, so it's not bad to have it there. It's not really visible, but might as well move this a bit back. Just a tiny bit here, so it's not clipping there into the cover. I think I actually might put, okay, the same let's look for it. This one here might just put the same material so that it's coherent with one another here, although usually it's like a different material or a different can just duplicate it. So yeah, I would do this, and then with this multiply node, can add a bit more color to it, but it's using the same wooden material. I'm not sure if this displacement here, we don't need it. The bump, I think I might take it off as well, just because it's not want to mix these two things together. So that we have a bit more information in the diffuse, in the roughness, I mean. So yeah, something like this is already good. We can up the scale to like 25 maybe. And this in reality should remove the just pure let's see here. I wanted to put it to multiply. And color ramp. Not yet sure if this is actually working well with at least this scene with Blender 4.5. It seems that yes, but then other things seem like they are slower. So yeah, I'm not yet quite sure if I'm seeing actually the difference so much. Let's check here some things in the system. It's using optics. Not yet sure if CUDA or optics in reality should be optics better for use the GPU. But well, let's we can test it out as we go and work on the scene. And maybe I can do some simplification for the viewport. I have already put the limit of the textures to 512, so it's actually quite low as well already. And let's see here, viewport, so maybe you can put it to 2. In reality, just using this part of the window as well should make it go quite fast. I can increase this here. Interesting. I have metallic on the wall. I don't think we want to have metallic on the wall. Since it's plaster, it's not necessary. It's just gonna darken the texture a bit, so we can offset that a bit with. I mean, here it's looking fine. So actually, I don't know if I would be inclined to touch the texture further. Something like this, a nice orange tint for the coating of the floor tile could work nice with the general lighting as well. Because right now I'm not touching too much the lights, because the lights are, since the scenes are already separated, the light is more or less it's set up the way I want it. It's looking quite nice. There is a bit of fill lights going on here, and these parts are not too dark. This part here is less important, so I don't really mind it to be this dark. It's not completely black, which is fine. And as well, we can do always a bit more in comp, just in case. Taking a look here, a bit of a bigger frame, just to see how everything is mixing and matching together. But it's looking, I think it's looking just fine. There's one shenanigan that I wanted to do, just because I'm interested to how it might look. I want to try And I already tried doing something here, but I want to try it again with a noise. Just adding all the nodes here. Let's disconnect this part here, and let's use these parts here. Can put it to object mode, and we can connect these two nodes here. And what I want to do is either use the noise texture, the regular one, and connect them both here. And I just want to see how this material is going to respond to this normal information here. And it's already set up to be displacement and bump. Okay, so let's zoom in here a bit closer. So I think this here's something super close. This angle can work, and we can now tweak a bit the material itself. Let's go something extreme, where we can see the reflections quite nice. Okay, so something like this. Now we have here, okay, this needs to go into the height, okay, and then if we set the scale to 25, we should be able to see something, yes, on the table. The idea here would be to have some sort of displacement or bumpy texture going onto the floor, onto the table here, onto the table glass, so to say, that would be faking some extra details. Not too much, but just a bit. So in reality here, this should have worked. In reality, this should have done the job. For this reason, I'm testing it out here just with the noise itself and without anything else, just to see, like, is it working or not? So yeah, because from this angle it's not it's not really okay. Now it's getting visible. So yeah, something like this would be the idea. And then I mean, could maybe let's remove this part. It's not necessary. Tidy up the nodes here a bit. So let's see here then what we can do for this to actually display some more information. Thing that and use this as a displacement. Try to plug it in here. We should start seeing some sort of information here. Noise and scratches. Is it maybe too high of a scale? Let's try something lower. So what if we just use the glass? What do we see? Okay, lower the setting here a bit. So now that we have this this angle here, we can see a bit better what is going on with the texture. It's not affecting it too much here. Surprised that it's actually taking this long to start rendering these. Start rendering. It's just a table now, visible. Let's try setting here these settings. I mean, it should be the G-force for sure in this case. No other way. So theoretically, should be seeing some normal information here as well now. Or not. Let's see here. Because if we can see it being so close here on the table as well, should be able to see some sort of information on the glass material, so to say. So yeah, this is not going to work because it's raising the geometry, which it shouldn't do. It needs to be super low so that it's barely noticeable. There we go. Oh, you're seeing some sort of information here. All this is just to have more variation on the table itself. So now we can lower these values till we have something that we can work with, or maybe as well higher. Let's keep it at 0.2. Let's delete the light that we don't need anymore and return our scene. We can save in the meantime. Let's check. Let's do a quick, hopefully a quick render. I don't remember now which was the render time for the set, but I think it was around 5 minutes or so, something like this. Let's see here. Now that I've added some more displacement, some more shaders here and there, it starts to add up. Let's see how long it will take him to do the calculations. I see here some extensions. So with these settings, it's actually gonna take, I think, more or less 5 to 10 minutes which I'm gonna need to, I will definitely need to cut that down. This is a bit too much, especially for the amount of frames that I have, because I don't want to render all this on my poor machine. Not at least with these settings. So maybe I can do a bit of optimization. And then and by optimization, it's more or less just removing things from the scene as well. And I want to check here. There is things that are not used. Stylized fur. I'm not sure. This is the eyebrows of the character that it's being used, this material. So there is too many duplicates of these things. So we don't need this neither. It's showing also the light linking groups, which are then set here. I see now. go back here. Let's put this like this. 64 samples, noise threshold to 0.1, and yeah, let's try to do this instead. Let's go here to the rendering view, and let's hit render. In the meantime, I'm gonna see. So there's a lot of these. Okay, these knobs, I think. I'm gonna be able to remove a lot of these subdivisions just because they're there in the back. So it's not going to be necessary to have these. And picture, I think this one as well. So yeah, we're gonna be able, I think, to reduce here these things, remove unnecessary subdivisions now that the scene is more or less ready. Now we're gonna optimize things and see as much as possible which type of modifiers we can remove, and we're just gonna be able to get away with the regular smoothing of the shader. It's telling me 30 minutes. That is quite a lot. Quite a lot for the frame. Let's see here. We're not gonna let that slide, that's for sure. We're not gonna let that slide, that's for sure. Volume, we don't need volume here. Let's keep this super low. Let's turn off caustics as well. And for the render, let's keep them at 1K, maximum subdivisions to 2. Something like this. And let's say stop. I'm gonna stop the render here. And let's do the cleanup that we just mentioned here. Let's go into the set dressing here, and yeah, these things here, they don't need the subdivision. We can just flat out remove it. More so on can leave it on the teapot since it's so close here. Can leave this maybe on 1. although I think it's not necessary. We can leave one subdivision here. Here we have a bevel. We have a few bevels here. And we can tone them down, maybe even to 1, or just flat out remove the bevel. But yeah, let's keep them. Has quite a lot of segments, so let's leave them at 1. Oh, everything has a bevel. Everything. So let's see here. I didn't remember that I actually did this here. Bit of a nuisance, say the least, to have these bevels here. It's probably thinking that it's going to be visible, but when we actually look at the scene and the layer, I mean, and where we are, it's actually not going to be visible. So remove this from the viewport. Okay, let's see if we have here any modifiers. I don't think so. Okay, this is all good. This one has a modifier. Maybe we can leave it at 1. This one has a bevel. And this one the difference is minimal. Let me check here in the render if it's actually visible, this this bevel here, although I don't think so. This way we're gonna cut down on unnecessary subdivisions and modifiers and geometry that is not really important. Well, not really. Not really, no. Okay, for this one, 2 subdivisions is fine. This is not a lot of geometry. Here one as well. Let's keep it at that. And then here the knobs. Yeah, the knobs have, all of them have modifiers, subdivisions on them. So I think let's see here in the render viewport if this actually makes any difference. I think that no. I think that no. More so just because it's there in the shadows. It's not really important. We can just turn it off. It has enough geometry by itself, and with the smoothing it's just enough. So we've done a bit of cleaning up here as well, removing unnecessary geometry. This one maybe we can leave just because it's I mean, in reality it's just a box, but as well it's adding a bit to the shading itself. So maybe we can leave this one as is, and maybe we can here increase a bit the bump here, something like this, 0.35. It's super behind there. So I'm not sure if it's a placebo effect, but it seems that it's going a bit smoother. Okay, so we have the table here. We can leave that one at 3, and then the chairs we can lower to 2 segments, and have it set to 1 here. I mean, they're completely covered, so it's not really gonna be visible neither. Okay, let's see now if we try to do a test render. I think I'm not gonna need as well later on the Z and mist pass. Yes, speed vector. Speed vector, maybe the position, yes. And okay, these things then in the set, I don't need these things. And here we have transmission, so we're gonna leave that one on. Shadow catcher, no. Ambient occlusion, sure. Just in case, we can leave these settings as is. And we can check here in the compositor if we now do a cook node tree, it's going to, or if we update it, So now it arranged a new pass just with the things that we have selected here. Okay, so we can leave this now as it was, and I've lowered these settings by quite a bit. Let's see if we can get a render now faster out, instead of having it render for an ungodly amount of 30 minutes for just one frame, which definitely is something to be avoided at all costs in this case. Okay, so we are down to 23 minutes, and we've cut down a lot of samples and a lot of settings, and it's still too much. Still too much. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, it's going even up, so maybe as well because I'm streaming at the same time while I'm trying to render, so it's picking up a bit of the computing power there. Which might cause a slowdown as well. Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly why it would be rendering so slow, because usually it doesn't take this amount of time, especially not 30 minutes, especially not this amount of time. So this is, I'm gonna have to stop it here, and well, let's see. I might need to do some more testing here with the setup to get it at least to around maybe a minute or 2 minutes or something like this could be doable. I'm not sure if in this case it's actually the amount of shaders that I've put that is actually creating, let's say, these issues, that is creating these long render times. So yeah, we're gonna have to see about that, what we can do to make it work. Gonna jump to the character layer here. Same thing here. Same thing here. We don't need volume here. We can leave this on 3. Or let's keep it like this. Let's see what we get with this. I know that the character has some textures that are 4K, which shouldn't be 4K because it's texture that is either inside of the mouth or some parts that are just never gonna be visible or not gonna be used. And we are rendering here. Let me just check. So the character is going to be rendered in 3-4 minutes. So we're gonna need to do the same here. try to optimize it even further, and then have it rendered in like 1 minute, maybe 1 minute per frame, because I remember here the mouth that I think I'm gonna remove the texture from the mouth and just add a basic material. The mouth has 4K texture for the teeth, I think, if I remember, and for the tongue, which, as for example, here is a shot where he has the mouth open, but it's not going to be visible. So the only important part actually here is the skin texture, which this is fine. Okay, you can leave that at 4K, sure, but the rest will need to be cut down quite a bit, because it's just not going to be visible, not going to be necessary. So let's see here. So with some denoising, 2 minutes 30 seconds, which isn't too bad, but we can do better. We can do better, that's for sure. So yeah, for example here, we don't even see his mouth inside. Even the details are completely lost. The shoes seem to contain some noise there. But yeah, compared, if we compare, for example, then the render with what we could see here, the amount of details that I've put on the suit is as well not coming through, is not visible actually. I mean, the thing is nice maybe for the close-ups, but then for something else, it's not really noticeable there, which is a pity, but this is what we have. So yeah, as we can see here, these details. It could be also that okay, so I didn't even bother putting some texture on the texture of the mouth to him on the tongue. Just using a noise. And I think that in this case, for the teeth, we can just leave it like this and not worry about it. Actually, here for the tie we're using a procedural texture. For the shirt as well. The suit does come with some textures, and the skin here might need to do some. Not sure, is it the displacement here that is creating these bits of artifacts here? This one is 2K as well. Would be really nice if there was a way to resize the textures here. I'm not sure if there is a way. So what is this bump here doing? Let's change the mapping here so we actually see what it's doing. Okay, so this is what it's doing right now. Let's lower this value here as well. So this definitely doesn't have nothing to do with what will be a skin texture. But if we go to generated, although I'm inclined as well to just remove it completely because I have a feeling, like for many other things, that it's not going to be visible. All right, so if we put some super high values here, and it's creating as well unwanted stretching. So to maybe avoid all of this, let's see what it did. So it changed the whole texture, the whole look of our character, just because of this bump node now. Let's see here. Doesn't feel, doesn't seem like it's doesn't seem like it's actually doing much here. But yeah, the stretching is visible, and it's set to okay, normal. I would like to see some sort of details being shown in the from the light coming from the side, like you would have this sort of a reflection on your face just because of the pores. But I'm not sure I'll be getting that here. I don't know. I feel like it's oh, we have gotten our first crash in these 10 sessions. 11 now. Very good, Blender. Very good. Just one crash in all these sessions is amazing. And pushing here the details and textures and whatnot, all these shenanigans, and it's still still doing strong without any issues. So let me see here. I would like to save this as a texture, save as an asset. Because we are now in the other scene, and I would like to import this asset here, the texture, if I can. Let me see here. I might need to append it just directly, and that's it. And yeah. Okay, what happened here? There we go. It was weird, like why wasn't I able to find it there? So now we can just have the same material here as well. It should work. I believe that it did work, although let me see here. Yes, I was working in a different version, so maybe not. Oh well, here's the that it would seem that here, in this version of Blender, the scene seems to be performing just better in general. And yeah, let's see here. So in this night scene, we'll see if I already have these set up here. And iteration already. I don't think so. I think I'm going to need to do it and separate the character, and I think almost I will repeat the lighting on that scene just because now I did a lot of different changes and activations on the different scene that I can copy and paste here. And the layers are already set up, and yeah, more or less everything is set up now. Also optimize the textures, remove necessary materials, all these sorts of things. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to mostly do this off stream, just because there's no point in doing this process. It's a tedious part. I could go and append all these into the scene, but let's see how that would work, since now I have it work in two versions at the same time. Just because I wanted to test the performance, see if it would actually working better or not. Yeah, here the set dress character link is different. Where is volume scatter? While we are here, I'm gonna I'm gonna stick around for just a bit and some tests here with the lighting. I'm just gonna play a bit and see here what we can do. Go to normal. Let's mess up here with the volume a bit. And we can this color here. I'm just playing around with the scene now, because I'm just gonna more or less scrap this scene, and now I'm just using what I have left here, just to play around with the overall lighting, and see what we can play around with here. Select the volume. Hello, here we go. Have it here. And in this part of the area, atmosphere, something super obscure where you cannot going on there? The misty fog. What is happening? What is going on? Let's see if we can play a bit here with intensity. No, this is not something I wanted to do. We can move these colors then to have them here, and we can later on tweak these. I'm gonna try to see if I simplify the scene by a lot, just by having a few lights and nothing more. We can get away with the simple lighting setup for this night scene and just have here a bit of contrast going on, and that's it. So this one is not too strong for my taste, definitely. And let's copy these values for the color. It's the same, okay. Here we get more buttons here. One here. You see here, we don't have volume scattering. Okay. Definitely too much green here. Definitely consensus